Good morning and welcome to Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper. We're delighted to host you on such a beautiful summer morning here at Thunder Bay. My name is Bill McPherson. I'm the CEO of Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper. I'd like to start by extending a special welcome to our distinguished guests, some of which you see behind us, standing behind me. We have Associate Minister Kevin Holland, Bingwe Niashe Chief Paul Gladu, and Community Energy Champion Aisha McNally. We have Acting Mayor Dominic Pasqualino. From the Center of Research and Innovation in the Bioeconomy, also known as CRIBE, we have CEO Scott Jackson and Executive Director Chris Walton with us. We also have Scott Rubin, CEO of Lake Nipigon Forest Management, Ryan Gleason, Permitting Manager at New Leaf Forestry, and Doug Murray, who's the Chairman of CRIBE. At Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper, we begin all of our meetings with an honor tradition, which we call our safety moment. As leaders, it's our responsibility to model our behaviors, to build the culture that we want to see in others, and we want others to adopt. Safety has always been and will remain our highest value at Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper. I appreciate you here today modeling our commitment to safety by following our protocols at our facility. It sends a powerful message to our employees and all that no one's exempt from safety as our highest value. I'd like to take a moment now also for another sacred tradition, which is our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper, Inc. is located within the traditional territories of the Fort William First Nation. We also acknowledge gratitude for the contributions of Indigenous peoples who have come before us, cared for the land and water in a way that allows us all to continue to work and gather today. At Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper, everyone is responsible every day, and we are mindful of our responsibility to carry forward our shared value of sustainability. Before turning the podium over to Minister Holland, I would like to share a few thoughts. My vision as CEO of Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper is to create growth, first here at our mill, and be a springboard for growth across our region and for the province. Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper is an anchor mill in northwestern Ontario, supporting nearly 7,000 jobs throughout the forest products value chain, and we generate more than $5 billion as an industry of economic impact for our province. But we can do more. This investment from the Forest Biomass Program not only supports our fiber recovery and sludge processing system upgrades, it strengthens our facility, benefits our workers and our regional economy, and brings Ontario and Canada one step closer to reclaiming our rightful position as a global leader in wood products. We deeply appreciate the leadership of Minister Holland in advancing sustainable forest innovation. Thank you again, Minister Holland, for your support work in Thunder Bay and the rejuvenation of our industry in our province. Please join me now in welcoming Minister Holland for a few remarks.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Bill, for that introduction. I'd also like to echo and say that I'm proud to be up here today with the group of gentlemen standing with me at the podium as we make today's announcement. And I want to thank Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper, Bill, and your team for hosting today's event. It's a beautiful day here in Thunder Bay, so we pulled out all the stops for this announcement. And of course, it's great to have so many of our stakeholders in attendance here today for the announcement. It's always great to see you. I've had the opportunity since we rose from the House in June to travel the province and really engage with stakeholders all across the province and have those conversations. And it's invaluable to me in the work that I'm doing here in the Ministry of Forestry and Forest Products. So thank you for that. I'm very proud to be here today to announce a total investment of over $6.2 million under the Forest Biomass Program. Funding which will support 8 projects across northwestern Ontario, developing the untapped potential of underused wood and mill byproducts known as forest biomass. This versatile material is already used in landscaping and building materials and in heat and power generation. And it uses many new and emerging uses as a source of renewable and alternative products and fuels, which can help to lower emissions and support the sustainability of our forests. Our government's forest biomass program is developing this valuable resource through targeted investments, increasing Ontario's use of forest biomass, byproducts, and related technologies. This program's investments diversify and modernize the forest sector. They promote forest sector innovation and sustainability, and they help to protect prosperity in the many communities powering forest sector success. Our government's latest investment includes $5 million under the Innovative Bioproduct Manufacturing Funding Stream for the Centre for Research and Innovation in the Bioeconomy, more commonly known as CRIBE. This funding will support CRIBE's ongoing actions to encourage forest sector growth, including developing and commercializing new bioproducts and promoting cross-industry collaboration. We are investing close to $1 million in 4 projects under the Indigenous Bioeconomy Partnership funding stream. These investments will engage Indigenous businesses and communities more fully in the benefits of bioeconomy development, from supporting training, planning, and collaboration to increase community forest capacity, to advancing the development of regional infrastructure which will put more biomass to work. And our government is also investing over $300,000 in 3 projects under the Exploring Biomass Pathways funding stream. Funding helping the forest sector businesses leverage the latest technologies to enhance their operations and seize Ontario's forest biomass potential. By supporting these projects, our government is building a stronger forest sector. Building regional markets for forest biomass will create new avenues for forest sector expansion while enhancing business productivity and efficiency, adding to Ontario's competitive advantage in changing markets. Forest sector businesses generated over $21 billion in revenue in 2023 and supported over 128,000 jobs last year. Our government recognizes that increasing Ontario's forest biomass capacity is an essential opportunity to create new business growth in our forest sector. And we're taking action to develop that opportunity. Since its launch in 2023, the Forest Biomass Program has committed over $45 million in targeted investments to more than 55 projects, including those announced here today. And our government has also invested in key initiatives putting forest biomass to work under a Forest Sector Investment and Innovation Program. This includes providing over $6 million to Char Technologies, expanding and establishing the largest facility in Canada using forest biomass to produce renewable natural gas, and the only facility using exclusively forest or woody biomass. And following the launch of our Forest Biomass Action Plan, we had previously announced close to $2.5 million to the Centre of Research and Innovation in the Bioeconomy and FP Innovations, funding which supports their continuing work to explore, test, and develop new uses for forest biomass and creating new potential for our forestry sector. These investments are creating forest sector business opportunity and accelerating forest biomass innovation. Protecting jobs in the forest sector and protecting the communities which depend on the forest sector productivity, and upholding our government's commitment to the forest sector, its businesses, workers, and families. I wish each of today's recipients success with these exciting projects. May your efforts bring increased prosperity to your communities and Ontario. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Chief Gladue from Sandpoint First Nation to the podium for a few remarks. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, 55 projects. I'm so proud that the people that help us with one of these projects here. And standing here, and not too long ago, I was one of the truck drivers that brought the chips here. Now I'm on this side. It's nice to see both sides of this work area. But anyway, good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Gladue, Chief of Bingway-Niashi, as known as Sandpoint First Nation. I would like to thank Associate Minister Kevin Holland for the support that we receive from your government. And also thank Scott Miller from the M&R's Forest Biomass Program for working with our staff to move our projects forward. I also like to thank, and she worked really hard at this, BNA Energy Coordinator Asia McNally. And she did say to me, she said, Chief, don't forget to, she's awesome worker, and like everyone else in our office. And for her hard work at this project, through this funding, our community has been able to undertake several critical studies and purchase much needed equipment for a biomass heating project. With the support of our partners at provincial level, the projects will utilize our waste wood from our proposé sawmill, where we would chip the slabs and bring them to the boiler, and we'll pump out heat for the homes of our members living on the land. This will lower electricity costs for our community members, create employment for our people, and ensure the sustainable of our sawmill operation for years to come. Sandpoint is a displaced First Nation, having been forced of our land and only receiving our reserved lands back in 2010. We are now in the process of rebuilding our economy from the ground up through the proper planning and the use of green technology like our biomass project. We are building our community using best practices and ensuring environmental and sustainability is at its core. Our development. This would not be possible with the support of our partners in the government, who sees our vision and want to help move us ahead. So once again, I'd like to thank Mr. Holland for believing in our vision and supporting us and becoming a reality, this project. And we couldn't do it without your government's help and a lot of other people that was part of this. And there was a whole list and can't name all, but thank you everyone. Give me this moment and to recognize the important people that moves our community ahead. Miigwech.
Thank you both for those remarks and your leadership in our region. At this time, I'd like to invite Acting Mayor Dominic Pasqualino to make a few remarks.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the mayor couldn't make it, so he gave me a few words that I can pass on to you. On behalf of the City of Thunder Bay, I want to sincerely thank MPP Holland and the Province of Ontario for its continued investment in the Northwest. The communities in this region are connected not just by geography, but by shared industries and economic ties. When investments are made in the Northwest, we all benefit. Forestry has long been a cornerstone of our local and regional economy for generations. It supports good jobs, innovation, and sustainable growth. We know building a stronger, more resilient community means looking forward and supporting industries that drive innovation and productivity while also respecting our environment. And Ontario's Forest Bio program is creating new opportunities for the businesses, workers, and communities who are leading the charge. Thank you again to the province for recognizing the potential of our region and supporting investments that help keep Northwest Ontario growing. Just a few words of my own. 45 years ago, I was actually out scaling for Great Lakes Forest Products. I was out in the lumber camps. I started out in 328 and probably worked at almost every camp that they've had. This company helped me pay my mortgage, feed my family, and have the courage to go on and to have children and to be a part of the community. I'm looking forward to this continuing and to make sure that there are jobs here and there's opportunities for the next generation. So thank you very much for the 7 years I spent at Great Lakes. It was great experience for me out in the different lumber camps. It's been a great opportunity for me, and I surely appreciate the opportunity I had. And it's exciting for me to see that this is going to provide opportunities for people in the future, for people that would have been my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. So thank you very much for this, and thank you, Kevin Holland, for bringing this forward. And together we will work to ensure jobs, and so people can go to work and bring home a paycheck every 2 weeks. So thank you.
Thank you, Acting Mayor, and in particular for those heartfelt remarks about reminding us how the work that we do impacts our lives every day, and it builds lives and it creates value. At this time, I'd like to invite Scott Jackson, CEO of CRIBE, to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Bill. As mentioned, my name is Scott Jackson, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Research and Innovation in the Bioeconomy, acronym CRIBE. For those of you that are not familiar with us, we are an accelerator of novel and innovative products and technologies that complement our primary forest sector and unlock the full potential of our forest resources. To be clear, we are forestry, but we are also so much more. The technologies and the product development that we support feeds into automotive, chemical, housing, energy, and so much more. I would like to offer our sincere thanks to Minister Holland and the Ministry of Natural Resources for their ongoing support. This funding will allow us to continue our collaborative efforts with government at all levels and our stakeholders as we make Ontario a leader in innovation. We are grateful not only for the funding, but also for Minister Holland's belief in our organization and what we are able to accomplish. We are up to the challenge, and we will deliver the results that are expected of us. Maybe just on a personal note, I will confess that I am actually from Toronto. My mother's family is from northeastern Ontario, and I spent my summers up in Sudbury and North Bay. Through much of my career, I've had the opportunity to come to Thunder Bay on multiple occasions. And Northern Ontario always has and always will hold a very, very special place in my heart. And I think it's important that the province, the country, and the world understands that Northern Ontario is a huge driver of everything that we have in this province. So, thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, Scott. And we recognize that people from Toronto are people too. So anyway, welcome to the hinterland. Anyway, you know, I often say as leaders, and especially in the pulp and paper business, we hit curveballs for a living, right? So I got thrown just a little bit of a curveball, but it's a good curveball. We're going to hit a double. So Chief Gladue said, I'd like to make a couple of more remarks if you wouldn't mind. So I'm going to invite him back to the podium to go ahead and add what he wants to speak from his heart.
Thank you. I guess when you get older, you forget a few things, and you know, there's so many people that you want to thank, and so little time. But we have a gentleman here, Scott Rubin. He's been running our force now for quite a few years, and along with the 4 other First Nations, and which is AZA, BNA, BZA, which is Rocky Bay, and Red Rock. And Scott, he's doing a heck of a job, and the people that he works for. And you know, I can't remember if I said this, but Scott Miller, I think I said his name, but why is it hit me in the back of my head? Chief, you forgot to say he must be here. But anyway, once again, Scott Miller, it's from M&R. Thank you for really keeping us online with all this. Other 55 projects being one of the ones. It's awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, this concludes our formal program. We'll invite questions from the media at this time for any of our presenters, participants. And I want to once again thank Associate Minister Holland for his leadership and passion. Everything starts with a vision, and his vision and his energy about trying to advocate for this region is second to none. And I just want to testify to that. Everywhere I go, I run into what a passionate leader he is and how much he cares about our region, our community. And I wanted to just personally continue to thank you for that, Minister Holland. So at this time, I'll open it up for questions.
Good. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. It's great to be here, to see everybody out. Great to be back at Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper. They've hosted us for quite a few announcements and for a lot of meetings, so it really helped me in my role as the Associate Minister of Forestry and Forest Products. So again, thank you for your leadership. So we do have a question.
So we're living in a time right now of tariffs that we have, the threat of more tariffs. How is that affecting Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper, and how will this announcement help that?
So you're absolutely right. We're not just living under the threat of tariffs. We're living under the uncertainty of what those tariffs are going to mean, how much they're going to be, and who they're going to apply to. So this program is one of the programs that we're developing or have developed within the ministry to really assist the sector to get to that next stage to help with the sustainability. So it's through the collaboration that we've done with the ministry or with the stakeholders throughout the province as to what we can do to help assist them to better deal with the uncertainties that we're facing in the world today.
Are there any specific, is it affecting Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper right now? Or?
So there have been some residual effects, and I won't get into specific details, particularly for the oncoming and offgoing nature and the lack of predictability. So at this point, we're working under the terms of the Canadian, U.S., Mexico Free Trade Agreement, which is covering our products. We don't know how long that will remain, so there is certainly the potential. We're relying on our federal negotiators to work in good faith with the U.S. to work through this and figure out where we're going to come out on the other end. Right now, as we speak, we're continuing to operate under the terms of the Free Trade Agreement. So as of this moment, there's no impact. But as we all know, there's looming deadlines, and that does tend to change from day to day or minute to minute.
Hi, question for Minister Holland. Recently, the pulp mill in Terrace Bay was fined $626,000 for environmental infractions. How much of the funding for this project here, or how much consideration is being paid to environmental protections with this funding for this particular project?
So this funding is more about new innovative products that we can create with the biomass. It's a biomass announcement. So the situation with the recent fine at Terrace Bay is an long outstanding issue that has just come to the forefront. The funding here today, announced today, isn't related to any of that situation. This is really about developing new products, new innovation, new opportunities for the forestry sector as it relates to forest biomass.
Sorry. Amongst the 8 major projects, how many other First Nations have you guys partnered with on these projects?
So I don't have the total number across the province for the First Nations, but for this announcement here, I believe it's where the funding is being flowed to 4 different First Nations communities. So.
Do you have the names of the communities?
Sure. So we have Sandpoint First Nation, Chief Gladue spoke to that earlier. Lake Nipigon Forest Management, we have Scott with us here in the audience, so thank you, Scott, for being here. We have Big Trout Lake First Nations that is receiving funding for training activities, purchasing equipment, and developing a 10-year operational plan. And we have Pekanjigam First Nations that will be receiving funding as well to help them with their development of a 10-year operational forestry plan and train community members on forest health, sustainability, and harvesting practices. All right. All right, well, again, thank you, everybody. That seems to conclude the questions. Really appreciate Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper for hosting us. For everybody coming out, it's an exciting day here in Thunder Bay and for the forestry sector, and I look forward to continuing to work with all of you as we advance the interests and the viability of this sector. So, everyone have a great day.